We waited more than 3 years for Squid Game Season 2, which is so bingeable that we're already speculating about Season 3. And there are a lot of things we'd like to see resolved before the game is over. Spoilers ahead. The games are arguably the biggest part of Squid Game's appeal, and Season 3 wouldn't be complete without them. Now that Gi-hun's rebellion has failed and the O voters likely outnumber the X voters, the games must go on. If you stuck around to catch the post-credit scene at the end of Season 2, you know the creepy red light green light murder doll will be back. And this time she's bringing a friend, a creepy boy doll named Chol-soo. You can also see some railroad crossing lights flashing red and green. Could it be red light green light 2.0?
Run for it! Go!
If you look past the action at the walls of the dorm, you can see decorative illustrations of players swinging from the ceiling, which suggests that we'll see a high-stakes game of monkey bars in Season 3. And behind the bunk beds, the wall has a checkerboard pattern, suggesting some sort of life-size board game with players as pieces, in case you haven't grokked the series metaphor by now. Believe it or not, Gi-hun still doesn't have a clue that his new friend, Player 1, the guy he knows as No-eul, has betrayed him.
I'm sorry, Gi-hun. It's over.
At the end of Season 2, he believes No-eul died a heroic death during the rebellion. When the truth comes out, it'll rock Gi-hun to his core. But will it finally be the thing to break his spirit? Or will it spur him to fight even harder? Given that Gi-hun and the frontman are so central to the show's conflict and its ideological implications, it seems inevitable that the two will face off in Season 3. But this is Squid Game, so something else that's inevitable, a more unexpected twist.
I'll do whichever one you think, Gi-hun.
How did you know my name?
How devious was the player formerly known as Wan? Was he messing with Gi-hun's mind all the way back to that moment when he nearly blew the spinning top challenge?
You ruined everything! You're worthless! Ah!
Hang on, the frontman is left-handed, which we know from the end of Season 1 when he shoots Jun-hee. So when he nearly gets his team killed by winding the top with his right hand, that's strategy. But since that time, has the frontman genuinely started to doubt himself and maybe even sympathize with Gi-hun? Anything is possible. By the end of Season 2, Kim Jun-hee is still alive and, according to Jun-cha, very pregnant. It would be pretty unfair to viewers to let the series end without Jun-hee giving birth, but that's dangerous under any circumstances. What happens if she goes into labor in the middle of one of the games? Or perhaps even worse, at night in the dorm when the players are hunting one another?
Oh, how are you feeling, Jun-hee?
I'm alright, thank you. We're all really glad to see you.
But even if she does give birth to a healthy child, what then? Will the pink guards take the baby away from her? Or will Jun-hee be expected to play the games with an infant in her arms? Will he or she then be player 222.5 or 457? Perhaps the sight of a Squid Game baby will inspire at least some of the players to rally around Jun-hee to keep her and her child alive. A child is, after all, a symbol of hope. In fact, some viewers have speculated that if Gi-hun dies, it will be to save Jun-hee and her child.
All right, buddy, we're all counting on you.
That would be the ultimate way to show that Gi-hun has evolved and is no longer willing to sacrifice innocent lives for the good of the many. While it seems like player 246, Park Gon-sok, is killed after Gi-hun's failed rebellion, there's reason to hope that he's still alive and might eventually be reunited with his terminally ill daughter.
Wait, please don't shoot. I have a sick daughter at home.
It's unclear where exactly the pink guard shoots Gong-sok, and the camera conveniently cuts away before we actually see player 246's body. Although Season 2 never confirms which pink guard pulls the trigger, there's fan speculation out there that it's number 11, No-eul. Maybe she intentionally gave him a non-lethal shot and plans to help him escape. It makes sense. No-eul knows player 246 and his daughter from outside the games, and is drawn to their situation because she too knows what it's like to have a young child whose chances of survival are slim.
The baby was 1 year old. How could she survive in North Korea without her parents?
While it may be impossible to save her long-lost daughter, it's not too late for Gong-sok and his little girl. We would love to see a happy ending to this particular story in Season 3. One of the memorable twists in Season 2 is the reveal that a mother and her son have both joined the games hoping to help the other with the prize money. This storyline immediately raises a haunting question. What if one or both of them doesn't make it out alive? While either of them dying would be horrible, perhaps the saddest outcome would be the death of Young-shik, forcing his mother Jun-cha to go on without him. Jun-cha takes a moment in Season 2 to imagine this unthinkable scenario.
Even if I did make it out, I'd have nothing to live for anymore.
Since Season 2 teased this possibility, it feels almost inevitable that it will play out in Season 3. While this ending would be tragic, it would give Young-shik a chance to redeem himself.
Young-shik, don't you dare! Don't do anything stupid, okay?
After voting to continue the games despite his mother's warnings and nearly leaving her behind in the game of Mingle, Young-sik could make up for his past mistakes, even if it means sacrificing his life to save his mother. It would echo Season 1, in which Gi-hun joins the games to help his mother, but can't save her, even when he wins.
It's okay. I'm alive. I made it. Are you all right? Are you hurt? Huh?
If Young-sik does die, hopefully his mother will find the strength to go on, and maybe invite the surviving players over for dinner. As of Season 2, Gi-hun still hasn't been reunited with his daughter Ga-young. He never got to say a proper goodbye. He tried calling her just before re-entering the games, but lost his nerve. And while Kang-chul, the late Se-byuk's little brother, is in a much better place than he was before his sister joined the games, safe in the care of Sang-woo's mother, his story doesn't feel finished.
Sir, do you know my sister very well?
We're good friends.
Season 2 goes out of its way to show Gi-hun paying a broker to find Chul's mother and smuggle her across the border. So even if Gi-hun doesn't survive Season 3, it's possible that the broker will at least succeed in reuniting Chul with family.
I kind of owe this to Se-byuk after all. I'll do everything I can to try and make it happen.
Meanwhile, given that the frontman keeps telling Gi-hun that he should have gotten on a plane to visit his daughter, it's pretty clear that storyline isn't over either.
You can hide all you want, but I swear I'll find you.
It would be great to see Gi-hun with his daughter again, but if he ends up sacrificing himself to stop the games, then we want to at least see Ga-young discover just how much her daddy has done for her. Despite the best efforts of Gi-hun and Ju-ho, nobody believes them about the games, which allows them to go on indefinitely. Perhaps in Season 3, Jun-ho will finally get the evidence he's looking for. However, getting the truth out may be easier said than done, considering that the VIPs are some of the richest and most powerful people in the world, and they've gotten away with these atrocities for decades. Even if Gi-hun does expose the games to the world, it still might not change anything. The frontman may have a point when he says the outside world is just as cruel as the games. When faced with the truth, the world would turn a blind eye, just like most people turned a blind eye to the homeless man in the street at the end of Season 1.
If the world doesn't change, the game doesn't end.
Still, we can dream, can't we? Although a happy ending seems unlikely for such a bleak story, it would be a hard-earned victory. Seeing Jun-ho finally bring back proof of the games and have his "I told you so" moment would be satisfying indeed. While it would be a blow for fans of the characters, narratively speaking, we have to admit we'd kind of like to see Gi-hun become the frontman in Season 3, or at least we want to see him seriously consider it. In a sense, he's already well on his way to the role, using people as pawns and sacrificing some of his fellow players in order to create a diversion. Maybe Season 3 will take a step further, with In-ho offering Gi-hun his position. It's terrifying to think that Gi-hun might be in such a dark place by then that he actually accepts the offer.
Will you go back to living like useless trash, running from your creditors, or will you take action?
The idea might seem far-fetched, but there are several ways it could happen. In-ho could force a job on him, placing Gi-hun in a position where he needs to decide who lives and who dies, even though he doesn't want to. Or maybe Gi-hun becomes so disillusioned by society that he decides In-ho is right. The games are ugly, but they give desperate people something they need.
These people suffered from inequality and discrimination out in the world, and we're giving them one last chance to fight fair and win.
Perhaps that's what the frontman's endgame has been all along. Regardless of how it plays out, Gi-hun will definitely face a choice in Season 3. Hang on to his faith in the goodness of humanity, or start seeing the world through the frontman's eyes. After having seen In-ho betray Gi-hun at the end of Season 2, we wouldn't blame you for assuming that he's beyond redemption at this point.
Now, witness the consequences of your little game.
However, if you consider that In-ho is a former player who's come from the same place as Gi-hun, and adding the fact that he did actually do some kind things during Season 2, then a change of heart in Season 3 doesn't seem out of the question. Squid Game creator Hwang Dong-hyuk has argued that even though In-ho is trying to destroy Gi-hun's faith in the goodness of humanity, he respects Gi-hun's boldness for returning to the games and is curious to see if Gi-hun might prove him wrong. Hwang told The Hollywood Reporter he really sees what he let go of and what he lost when he sees Gi-hun. Secretly, he might even want Gi-hun to fight on.
The only reason I'm telling you this now is because I want to try and save everybody.
Maybe if Gi-hun helps as many players as possible survive the games, it will change In-ho's mind. More than once, Hwang has compared the frontman to Darth Vader, and it's easy to see the similarities, not just the black mask and deep voice, but also the way he serves as a foil, the person Gi-hun would be if it had gone down a darker path. In fact, just like Vader, he's actively trying to lure Gi-hun down that dark path by using the games to try and break him. As such, it's possible that, like Darth Vader, the frontman will realize he's made a mistake. Maybe he'll even sacrifice himself to make things right.